Yeah, I just heard Johnny say it's because of weather. What, we may cancel the game? Tell us that before we get on this plane. Now, Johnny's got them playing. The games I've watched, they had a chance to win every game they played. Obviously Johnny, their guards, big Johnny O'Brien, but they also have their young kids are playing well. They're long, they're athletic, they're a good team. And then you have Missouri following up at Missouri, and they've stepped back a little bit in league just because they've had some road games. But Missouri is still one of those top 20 teams that you go on the road, they're hard to beat.
Our first question is from Randy Rosetta of the New Orleans Times-Picayune.
Hey, John.
Hi.
Can you talked about Big Johnny there for a second. How challenging is that for young post defenders like you have to prepare for him? Because he's obviously gotten savvy over the years and knows how to take care of himself inside.
No, he's physical too. He's stepping off of the block and shooting jumpers. If you let him alone on a pick and pop, he'll shoot that. Johnny's got him the freedom to make plays, so he's making them, which even makes him doubly hard to guard. Because now he can step out, he can go on a pick and pop, he'll get you on the block, and if you're on his body, he spins off. I mean, he's a really good player. He's been a challenge for every team that they've played this year.
Our next question is from Blair Kirkhoff of the Kansas City Star.
Hey, John, we're a little bit over halfway through the season. I just wanted to find out where you were on the officiating emphasis this year, and has your opinion changed since what you may have thought about it going into the season?
Well, I just hope they stay the course. That, in other words, the fouls that are supposed to be called, if you put your hands on people, if you put your hands up in the air and hand check a guy or hip check a guy, that's a foul. If you're in the post and you chest foul him, like throw your chest at a guy, that's a foul. If you're in a motion of shooting a layup and the guy slides over, those are all blocks. I just hope they stay the course. I think it's cleaned up the game. We're going back to what the game should be. I mean, in the last 3 years prior to this year, scoring went down because we fouled on every possession. We grabbed, we held, we pushed, forearms on a guy. You have guys saying, I can't play like I did a year ago where I could have my hands on a guy. Well, you weren't allowed to have your hands on a guy a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So just be consistent and keep calling it. I mean, I wouldn't move. I would tell the officials, if you want to be in the NCAA tournament, you make those calls. If you don't and your game is rough, you're not officiating in the NCAA tournament. They'll do it.
Thanks, John.
Next up is Larry Vaught of the Danville Advocate-Messenger.
Yeah, good morning, John. I was wondering, are you to the point now with the way Alex has played over the last 3 or 4 weeks that you're pretty satisfied that he's got everything you want and he's where you want him to be?
No, he's not. No. We need him to take jump shots when he has them. I don't want him to take 15 jump shots, but there's no reason for him not to take 2 or 3 jumpers a game and sometimes more. He's running from his jump shot right now. Now, in transition where he's got a lot of it, but we're in a half court, we're throwing it to the middle of the defense or driving it to the middle. He's got to shoot those jumpers, and he's capable of doing it. He's more comfortable at the free throw line. He's in great shape. There's no reason for him not to do that. But I love the fact that now he can think on the basketball court because he's in shape, not afraid of the treadmill, not afraid of conditioning. He relishes it now. And that's the change you want to see, and I couldn't be more proud of him.
So do you talk to him daily about taking that jump shot?
Well, we watched tape with the team. The team watched the 3 opportunities he had for jumpers. He ran to the lane or the rim. And one of them, he started laughing because it was so obvious. All he had to do was stand there, and he's going to shoot a jumper, that he was running from it. And I'm telling you right now, he's one of our better shooters. So here he is yesterday, the last play of practice. Andrew drove to the middle, jump stop, in the lane, threw him a ball, and he made a three in the far right corner. And that's how we ended practice. Well, that's what I want him to be. Now, I don't want him to settle for all jumpers. That's not what he is. But you got to keep people honest by shooting.
Thanks.
Next question is from Hunter Atkins of Minnesota.
Hey, Coach. I'm writing about the use of heart monitors in basketball. I know you've written about this before, but I wanted to ask, why do you like using heart monitors, and how do they help your team improve?
Well, the thing that young players, and you got to understand, I coach the youngest teams in the country. This year, the youngest team maybe in the last 10 years. They really don't know how to push themselves. They don't know to push through comfort levels. They don't know their exertion. It's always been good enough, whatever they've given. What the heart monitor does, it does a couple things. It tells you of your exertion rate. It tells you where your heart rate is, and it gives you an idea that you have a lot more in you. Now go more, because one guy would argue that it's not working. Literally this year, we had a guy said, my heart's different than everybody else's. No, we did. And also that, well, it's not working for me because I'm going harder than this thing's saying. No, you're not, son. And now that he's busted through that, his game is beginning to change. So that's why we use it. It also keeps track of caloric burn, which is really important. One of my big pet peeves is we limit what we can feed these kids. A superior athlete's going to eat 7 times a day. We're not allowed to do that or we'll all go to jail. Why are we limiting what they eat? You won't believe this. We're not going to make them fat. We're not going to make them fat. It's not what we're going to do. So caloric intake, if they burn 4,500 calories, you need to replace those. And so those are things that we use that for. We make sure we're feeding them. We're doing those things to we don't want to break down. We don't want to starve them. We don't want to break down their bodies. Because when you break down your bodies, that's when they get injured. And what we all got to remember is this is someone's child. This is someone's child. And so that's the things that we're trying to do to help them and make sure we're staying on top. And a lot of times they don't believe you when you say you have more in you. You can give us more. You can give yourself more. You can give the team. But they don't believe you. So we use them, and we also use them in games to just tell them, here's your exertion and your heart rate during games. It's way beyond where you are in practice. Maybe that's why you're cramping up, because you're not used to going that hard. So why don't you do that in practice so your body gets used to going that hard? That's what you do with young guys. Look, I watch Florida play right now. They play so hard, they don't need heart rates. They don't need it. But they're playing 4 seniors who already know how hard you got to play and how you got to compete.
And is there one player in particular on your team who you think has benefited the most from the use of heart monitors?
Well, there's probably 2. Look, we're practicing. If their heart rates go below 80, we go on the line and start running until they're up to 80, and then we'll keep practicing. So we're trying to get them to play through full possessions right now. Other teams are not doing that. They got veteran teams. We're trying to get these guys to be mentally disciplined to keep going. And so we got to bring it out. But I would tell you, Alex is a different man this year because of that. And I think Dakari, is becoming that guy because he knows he has more in him. It's hard to be special. It's easy to be just another player. If you want to be special, if you want to set yourself apart, if you want your team to be special, it is extremely hard. And we got to break every barrier we can for them that holds them back.